Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Beth and I'm a seamstress and sort of freelance knitwear designer. So yeah, we just make all the usual like knit craft content here, like any sewing or anything, but you may or may not know, if you have followed me before, I recently went to Denmark on holiday, and yeah, today I just thought I'd show you like what I bought and kind of like also mixed with like what my plans are for like the autumn winter, because obviously I do plan predominantly to knit up a lot of this stuff. Also, I'm sorry if the light changes, we are relying on the sunlight today, so that might be like a bit variable. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go through like everything that I got, and then maybe at the end just talk about some of my like stash yarn that I would really like to knit up this winter. So also I just want to say, like, this is quite a lot of yarn. Like, I did spend quite a lot of money on this yarn, but I was saving up leading up to this trip because I knew that this was going to be the case, and I am now on a yarn buying ban pretty much for the rest of the year. I say rest of the year because I don't think I'm going to run out before we hit the end of the year, basically. If I do by some miracle, then maybe we will get some more, but I severely doubt it. So I really only went to 2 yarn shops when I was away, because I was away with my boyfriend's family and I wasn't going to drag them around all the different yarny knit places that I wanted to go to. So predominantly got these from 2 shops, and then there are a couple of bits that I ordered while I was away, because a lot of these brands you can buy in the UK, like if you order them online, but I hadn't ever seen the colours in person and I hadn't felt them either. So really for me, I wanted to go in, see what was there, and then if they didn't have something in particular that I wanted, like a colourway, or they didn't have enough, I was just going to order it. So yeah, I guess we will literally just get started. I'm just looking at this all around me. This is probably going to seem like a lot. I have never bought this much yarn in one go, I will say. So yeah, I feel like I'm not going to get hung up on that, but please just bear that in mind. So also, sorry if you can hear like the plastic, like a lot of these are still in their bags that we bought them in, so you might hear like rustling. The first bit of yarn that I bought was actually from a Spar. So if you live in the UK, Spar is like a corner shop here. Obviously in like mainland Europe, I feel like these are a bit bigger, and these are sort of like somewhere between like a corner shop and like a supermarket. Like, it's predominantly like food that they sell and like home stuff, like cleaning products. But we went into a town on like one of the first, like I think maybe the first or second day, went to the Spar to like grab a bit of lunch and like a drink, and they sold yarn. Obviously I was not expecting, so they either had acrylic or they had this like sock yarn. So I have never seen this brand online, but it was really cheap, so I just thought I'd buy it. I don't even think it has, oh it does. This is Lamy Yarns. So this is the colour. This is colour 457. So yeah, like I said, this is just a sock yarn. I am currently knitting my first ever pair of socks. They're just vanilla socks, but I am really enjoying it, and I feel like they're quite a nice project to just like have on the go. So I did buy a couple of different sock yarns while I was away to like entice me to knit them more. But this is just, I think this is just, yeah, this is 75% wool and 25% polyamide. So really like nothing very interesting about this, but I just really liked this blue colour. I feel like it's a really nice shade. So yeah, I just picked these up, and these were like really cheap, honestly. I don't even know how many grams are in one of these. So they're 50 grams each. So yeah, it is good that I bought the 2, but yeah, obviously my plans for these are going to be socks. As with all the sock yarn that's going to be popping up in this video, I don't have specific socks that I want to knit with these. I've currently been knitting from the Summerlee sock project, which basically talks you through like from the beginning of a really basic sock up to more complex things. So maybe we'll do something a bit more complex with these because they are just like a flat colour. I also should mention before we continue, I always forget to do this, but the jumper that I'm wearing, it's my own pattern. It's just knit up in the Rowan Island Blend Fine. I can't remember exactly what colourway this is, but I don't think they have many colour options, so this is the green one basically. It's just a really simple like drop shoulder, and then it's got these like rolled edges basically. But yeah, just thought I quickly mention that now. So the second shop that we went to was, honestly, it was a bit random. So we had actually gone to a Viking museum, right? And this was when I had started knitting on my first sock, and I was using wooden DPNs in 2.25, and the tip of one of the needles just snapped off inside my bag somewhere. So when we went to the Viking museum, they had gift sets of like basically mittens and with like wool and stuff. I didn't end up buying any because they didn't have any in English. The pattern, obviously the patterns were printed in English in women's sizes that I liked the look of, but they had some circular needles on sale and they were 2.5, and we asked like, do you have any smaller sizes? And she said no, but there's like literally like a yarn shop around the corner, and my boyfriend's family was still looking around the museum, so we just walked up the road to this shop, and honestly it was like a gold mine. I, in hindsight, kind of wish that I had bought more there, but the town that we were staying in, I knew had a yarn shop because my boyfriend bought me yarn from there when he went last year. They sort of stayed in like a very similar area, and so I was like holding on, but I did buy a jumper quantity from there. So this is the Filicolana Peruvian. So this is colourway 975, and I believe this is like a DK kind of way. It's just 100% Peruvian Highland wool. I don't know how well this is going to come up on camera. It's like a really like dark brown, like, but it's like a greyish brown. It's sort of got like all these little specks of colour. So this is basically the amount that I bought. I'm pretty sure I bought 13 balls of this. This is, how long is this? This is 100 meters. So my plan for this, let me put this down. My plan for this, as soon as I saw it, was like a big jumper, like really cozy, like big, maybe like a turtleneck or some sort of mock neck. But I'm also either leaning towards potentially like, I'll try and put a photo on the screen. I will try and put photos throughout if I'm not sure on things, or you know, but the jumpers that have like essentially the big folded down panel and they go straight across, I feel like this would look really nice in this yarn, or also potentially a big chunky v-neck. So I do have some other stash yarn that I am debating knitting a v-neck out of. So this yarn and that yarn, I feel like the projects are kind of a little bit interchangeable for. I'll see if I can find it by the end of the video. It's basically a mix of, I have some Drops Flora and some like a really fine blue like boucle and just some random cone yarns that I think would look really nice combined. But yeah, this is really nice. Like the strap, this is between a 4 and 5 millimeter needle, but I feel like this yarn actually looks quite thick for like the size that it recommends. So it's also like relatively soft. I thought this was going to be scratchier until obviously I felt it in person. So yeah, this was the first jumper quantity that I got. You can get this in the UK, I just hadn't seen it before. I have worked with Filicolana before, but only with that Alva to make some penny gloves by Petite Knit, so which I will get back to in a little bit. But yeah, I've been wanting to try out some of their other yarns, and I don't know, I don't normally go for this sort of colour, but I feel like it would be just a really nice neutral, and I don't know, it kind of goes with my hair and like even like my actual natural hair colour. I feel like this is cute. So yeah, hopefully I've got some photos up on the screen to sort of show you what I mean with this one. But yeah, this was the first thing that we bought. So that was the only thing that I bought in that first shop, but they had so much. They had like loads of loads of other Filaclana, loads of Saniscan, loads of Isaya, and basically I had asked them if my main goal for this trip, right, was I wanted the Aran tweed in confetti, and they had like every other colour but that, so he was like, okay, whatever, and then we kind of had to go. So the second yarn shop, which is where a lot of this is from the place we were staying. I don't want to try and butcher this name, but this is the place that it's from. Flitglees, that's for sure wrong, but yeah, so a lot of this next bit of yarn is from there. I bought another jumper quantity of the Saniscan Peergynt. I have never used any of the Saniscan wools before. I do have some of their Mandarin Petite, which I have, honestly, it's kind of like a bit of a whip at the minute. I started making something this summer and didn't finish it, but that's cotton, and again, I've been wanting to try Saniscan, like the actual Peergynt, but again, I didn't want to order it and didn't like it because I have heard people say online this is quite like a woolly wool. I definitely would not say this is scratchy at all. Obviously I haven't worn this yet, so I might change my mind, but yeah, this is the Petite Knit colour range, which I did not get specifically because it was from her. I just really like this colour. I've been looking at it online for so long, and yeah, seeing it in person, so they had like a couple on the shelf and I was like, oh, like I think they only had like 7 or 8 out. I was like, that's not going to be enough. These are, I should say, 91 meters, and I think it's just 100% it's 100% Norwegian wool. So I was like, oh, I don't know, like it's not really enough. And I know that I predominantly make garments, right, like jumpers, cardigans, etc. So for me, these are a lot of jumper quantities because I'm not gonna just buy one-offs of things because they just sit around and I don't end up using them. Whereas if I buy a jumper quantity and then I have scraps, then I'll combine my scraps into different projects instead of just buying like the one-off bits. So the Peergynt was another one that I knew I really wanted to get, and yeah, so there wasn't enough. And then on the tops of the shelving units, they had like all these like still in bags essentially of just all these yarn. And I saw that when I saw the colour, I was like, oh my god, I had to get my boyfriend to like get it down for me. And yeah, it was a whole new bag of all of this colourway. So yeah, this is Poppy. It's colour 4008. I feel like everyone that likes this yarn knows what this colourway is, but this, I would say, is the one that I am the most like stumped on what to make. Not because I don't have ideas for it, but just because I'm torn. So I'm torn between, again, like a really nice big like just stockinette jumper, like high neckline, or a big cardigan. So hopefully I'll be able to get some photos up of those. But I made in April a red cardigan which was using the Hobbycraft cotton blend, which is a cotton and acrylic blend. It was the first full garment that I made this year. It's what really got me back into like the swing of making things, because I hadn't made anything in so long, pretty much since I left uni, like partially like circumstances, just I couldn't. But yeah, so in my mind I'm like, oh, I do have a red cardigan, but like also I feel like this one, if I made this into a cardigan, it would replace that. I would frog it and then use the yarn elsewhere. There's nothing wrong with the yarn of that. I actually quite like it. It's quite soft considering. However, I basically, so I'd knit it as a raglan, right? And obviously when you do like raglan, say if it's to like here, you normally like do your German short rows like further down than your first increase point. For some reason on that one, I don't think that I did. I think I only put German short rows further back. So basically the fit of the neck I just don't love. Like it sits very like rectangular on my neck. I don't know if that makes sense. And then plus I also forgot to size down my needles for the rib everywhere, so it is just not necessarily made to the standard that I want to be making things. So yeah, I'm torn with this one, whether to go jumper or cardigan, but we will see what this becomes at some point. Like I said, I was on a mission to find the Aran Tweed in Confetti by Isaiah, and they had it. So let me see if I can hold these up. So when we went into the shop, there was only, I believe, no, there was 4, right? So they had 4, and these are I think, yeah, these are 160 meters. They're 100 grams each, and it's technically like Aran weight, or like worsted, or whatever the technical terms are. So I was like, this ain't gonna be enough, this ain't gonna cut it. If they don't have enough, I will just order some when I get back, because oh my god, I'm not even joking, I think this yarn is like just so beautiful. So it's obviously just this really like charcoal kind of grey colour, and then it's just got all of these like rainbow specks of the tweed going through it. And I'd seen this online so much, and again, this was one that I'd heard people say were really rough, and I did feel like it was rough at the time, but now since using one of these other yarns I bought, this just is fine. So yeah, they had the 4, and I was like, oh, this ain't enough. I was like, and then I asked her, I was like, do you have any more, or is it just what's on the shop floor? So she actually, the owner of the shop actually owns another shop. There's like 2 in like different locations, and she was like, we can get in, and we have 3 more in our other shop, we can get it for you tomorrow if you want to come and buy it. So she is actually my hero. That lady was so nice, I literally can't even like express how lovely she was. So she managed to get hold of the other ones for me the day after. So yeah, obviously we went and picked them all up, but oh my god guys, I'm literally, this is the one that I am like so excited to use. So right, let me put these down. I feel like the past 2 I've been like, yeah, like high collar stockinette. This is for sure gonna be a high collar stockinette. So obviously I'd bought the, let me hold them up together. So obviously I'd bought this, and I was like, yeah, chunky net, chunky jumper, beautiful. But then we bought this, and this for sure I want to basically make a jumper with, which is what led me to think, okay, well, what else can I make with this? I really love to knit like a variety of like different constructions, different garments. I do pretty much make all of my own patterns from scratch, so I guess I do just have the freedom to like, I'll just make what I want to make. But yeah, so obviously because I thought, okay, big jumper with this, I then felt like, do we need another one with this? I mean, looking at them together, this is actually way darker. I feel like maybe this is coming up a little bit lighter because obviously I'm literally just sat in direct sunlight, but that's why I think maybe this one we'll try like the folded over thing, I'm not sure, or maybe the v-neck, and then we'll use my flora for the folded over. I don't know, I'm so conflicted. But yeah, I feel like I do want to make like pretty different pieces, but then I feel like the colour is quite different as well, I don't know. But yeah, this one is for sure gonna be a jumper. I was like looking through Ravelry at all the different projects with this, and I have seen like people make it into cardigans, but honestly I don't love it so much as a cardi. I honestly don't even know why. I think low-key it's because the first jumper that I saw of someone make, well, the first garment that I saw someone make this with on Instagram was a jumper, and I feel like it's just been like cemented in my brain ever since. I have been itching to get my hands on this. I was gonna order it like over the summer, and then I was like, oh no, and then I don't even know why, because I was like, so I was gonna order this before I ordered this yarn, right? This is such a tangent now, I'm so sorry. This is like nearly £10 a hank, right? It's like, no, it's too expensive. And then this yarn went on sale. This yarn, the Rowan Island Blend Fine, is normally like 15 or 16 pounds a hank, and or like a skein, yeah. But it was on 50% off on Wool Warehouse, which I think might even still be ongoing low-key. But yeah, so this was on sale, so I was like, oh, that is that is ridiculous. 50% off, we need to buy that. This jumper still cost me £100. It should have been 200, but in my brain I was like, you can't turn that down. This yarn's on sale, this yarn isn't. So obviously bought this. This was 12 hanks basically, because I held it double, and honestly if I had any more I would have liked to have made the body a little bit longer, but that's besides the point. So yeah, this one I've been literally like, oh, wanted it for so long. But yeah, this is for sure got to be a jumper. I feel like we have probably said enough about this, to be honest, but yeah, this is literally like, oh, this is my life. This is, I think, the most expensive yarn that I bought this whole trip, but this was the one yarn that I went knowing I'm going to buy this yarn in this colorway as well. Like the Peer Gynt I knew I wanted, but I was torn in the Peer Gynt between the 2122, I believe, which is like a yellow, or the poppy, and honestly I got the poppy because that's what they had. I do still want the yellow, but she is just so beautiful. Like, oh, this is insane. And I've never, I don't think so anyway, no, I have never knit with the Isia yarns. I do have 3 of the little, I think it's the Eco Melange, which is what my boyfriend bought me last year, and I need to find something to incorporate them into, honestly, because they've been sat in my stash for a year, although I wasn't knitting for like a good portion of that. But yeah, so this is just really special to me. My baby, I need to stop talking about it, but yeah, that woman in that shop, she really made my 3 days that we went in there for every day straight. I also bought some sock yarns from that shop. So the first one is the Lang Yarns Wool Addicts Footprints. So it's this pretty funky, like so many colorways in this yarn, and these were all in a sale bin. If this was like full price I probably wouldn't have bought it. I'm sorry, I do not know the conversions for any of these yarns, because Danish krones to pounds is a really weird conversion. It's like every £1 is like 8 krones. So you'd like go into a shop and they'd be like when we was in the yarn shop, they were like, oh, it's like 1,000 and something krones, and it's like 100 and something pounds, if that makes sense. So pretty much from what I can see, or from what I converted, the prices are very, very similar to if you were to buy them in the UK, like with the conversion rate, maybe like 10-20p cheaper a bought, but not horrifically. But yeah, this was on sale. I can't remember exactly how much for. This is 100 grams, and this is, what is this, 45% cotton, 42% virgin wool, and 13% nylon, and apparently it's a superwash. So this is for sure gonna have to be vanilla socks, right? Like, you would not want to do anything cabled or lace or basically intricate at all, because it will not show up. But I was torn between this one and one that was like really like loads of pinks and reds, and what I basically said to my boyfriend, like, just pick one, like, and yeah, he said this. So again, a pair of vanilla socks, not much to say. I will decide after I started knitting this first sock, which I'm doing a heel flap and gusset. Maybe we'll do that again, or maybe we'll try a different construction. But I just, yeah, I love the Lang yarns, like the colorways, because I've never actually knit with them because they are so expensive. Like, oh my god, Lang Cloud is insane. Like, to make a whole garment in that, I cannot be affording that, there's no way. And I like chunky yarns here and there, but not all the time. My favourite is like a decade, like an Aran weight yarn, right? And I was looking at the Lang Clouds and I was like, oh, it's so much money. Like, that literally would have been the whole budget. But I was gifted, like last year or the year before, now I can't even remember, some of the petite wool from We Are Knitters, which I know some people have their opinions about, but I was not aware at the time. So yeah, I was gifted that. That is potentially on my list of things that I want to make this winter, and that's like a chunkier yarn, and I just felt like, am I gonna wear the Langcloud? Maybe not. I would love to try some of the other bases, but I thought this was a good place to start. I feel like stock yarn is like quite a low commitment, and also like low commitment financially to try like different yarn brands. So yeah, she is funky as hell, and I thought if I have any left over, this would be so interesting to put into like a scrap project. So this next yarn I had seen in the first shop and just didn't pick it up. Basically, if you have seen any of my previous videos, you may know that I've been traumatized by superwash yarn before, and so when I saw this was superwash, I was like, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people use superwash in their socks, and I would like to see for myself what I think. So this is Filakilana again. This is the R Wetter. Now, I am not like a purple person really. Like, I do not love the look of purple on me necessarily, but I looked at this in the first shop and I was just so drawn to it again in the second shop. I honestly couldn't even tell you why. I just feel like it's a really like lovely shade. I say I'm not a purple person, my nails are literally purple, but yeah, I feel like it was just such a nice shade. These are 50 grams each, which is why I bought both. And yeah, like I said, it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So we'll see, we will see. But I just think these, I don't know, it's just the colour, honestly. They had so many different colours, and because I know this colour range is so big, if I end up loving this, we can order more again in the UK, no problem. This is colour 267. I didn't say what the last one was, did I? Okay, I'm actually going to be no help because I'm not sure which is the colourway, but this is what it says on the ball. So yeah, I don't know which of them is Dye-Lot and which of them is colourway. I feel like same with the blue sock yarn that I got from Spa. Maybe we can venture out into some lace and some cables with these because they're just solid colours. Obviously the design will show up a little bit better, or just some sort of texture, whereas that Lang yarn, she's got a bit of vanilla sock, no questions asked. So yeah, this was the next one. I mentioned the Penny Gloves by Petite Knit. So I do predominantly like write all of my patterns for myself, just like honestly make a lot of it up as I go along. But I did knit 2 pairs of penny gloves back in, I don't know, like early summer, for some of my boyfriend's family members, and I feel like they're just quite easy gifts to make. So we bought some more in, this is the recommended yarn, it's the Filakilana Alva. So I got 3 different colourways. So this is the exact green that I used the first time. Shut the blind a little bit. But this is the exact green that I used the first time. This is colourway 147. This is like this really light pink, which like low-key is so cute. This is 334, and then this is just like a navy blue in 145. I feel like, if I remember correctly, because I have made these twice now, I think the pattern calls for 36 grams and these are 25-gram balls. So you do end up with like leftover, which is kind of a bit annoying, but I'm sure we can work them into a scrap project. And basically the length, maybe I'll try and put a photo of the ones that I made before. The length of the cuffs on them is like quite long. So for these ones, I'm definitely going to knit them a bit shorter, like maybe by like 5 centimeters shorter. So obviously that won't use as much yarn. So obviously if I have enough of these left over, maybe we'll just combine them into something else, or even, I don't know, if there's enough of each left, like combine them together, like stripes or something, just for myself. I don't know, but yeah, so I got 6 of these in total. I also bought from that shop, which I'm not going to get out because they're so packed away under all this yarn that I can't bring myself to dig them out. I just bought, they actually had the 2.25s, the DPNs, so they are like the Leica needles. They were like hot pink. That's like the only one she had, but it was fine. But since then I have swapped onto metal circulars, using Magic Loop, which I actually prefer because I feel like the wooden ones feel so fragile. So obviously at this point I had bought 2 jumper quantities from her, the 3 pairs of gloves essentially, and the two pairs of socks, which actually looking at that now is like a bit silly. But so I also, because these were just on the till, bought these. Are just like the barber cord things that you can basically like slot onto either end of your needle, and it like when you're doing knitting in the round, and then it extends it so you can like try things on if your like your, what are they called, cables, like your needle cables aren't long enough to like say like fit over your bust and stuff. So yeah, I bought a pack of these were like, I don't know, like £3.50, not a lot at all, and you do get quite a few in here. I have yet to use them, but I'm currently knitting a raglan for myself and one for my boyfriend, so I'm sure these are going to come in handy very soon. But yeah, at this point I had spent what seems like a small fortune in her shop. Bless her. I know I keep going on about it, but she was just like the nicest woman in the world. She'd given me the tote bag as well, obviously with the yarn in it. And then as I was leaving, like it was so bad, like we'd go to leave and I'd like see another little trinkety thing and be like, okay, I've got to buy that. And then yeah, I was turning to leave, and by the till they had like this tray of buttons, and they had like how buttons are normally sold is like in the tubes, you have like the one on the end and then you just take out the ones that you want. But they had this like, I don't know, like open thing of like buttons, and they're so beautiful. And we were just chatting with her and she was telling us about how they're all handmade basically. So I picked up these buttons. Oh my god, I don't know what project I'm going to use them for, but these are incredible. So they've got like these like olive green backs, and then at the front they're almost like ceramic. They've got like this like tealy glaze on the front. So I bought 7 of them. So yeah, this is just what they look like. I feel like this is going to be so hard to actually show them accurately. Maybe you can kind of see there like all of the different colours in them. They're just, oh, they're stunning. And these were like 16 krones a button, which in pounds is like £1.70, £1.80 or something like that. So I was prepared again to spend like a silly amount of money, like nearly £12 on like these 7 buttons. And she just gave them to me for free. She was like, this was like the 3rd day that we'd been in there, because obviously we'd gone in, then she'd ordered me the stuff, so we had to go back the next day, and then I bought more, and then we went back on the last day because it was the day before we were leaving, and we were doing like a final like lap around the shops because my boyfriend saw some clothes that he wanted to buy, and I was like, oh, can we just like go back in one more time? So yeah, we were just at the till and I was like trying to pay, and she was like, no, just take them, and she was like, just don't look at anything on your way out, like stop buying things. So yeah, these buttons are gonna forever hold such like a warm place in my heart, because that lady, she is just so lovely. And that shop is actually closing, so where we stayed basically, she's closing that shop and then she's just keeping the other one. So I don't know if I'll ever go back to her branch of shops again, because I'm not exactly sure where the other one is. But yeah, she was really incredible and just honestly like made the whole experience like just so much nicer. Yeah, that was everything that I physically bought in Denmark. And if you're wondering how did I fit this in the luggage, I flew out on my own and my boyfriend's family drove, so it went in the car. So I didn't really have any luggage restrictions, which was so nice. Also, I'm sorry if it just got dark. I feel like the sun's gone in. So my boyfriend wants a jumper for Christmas. I said that was fine, but he had to tell me by the end of August because I wanted long enough to be able to knit it. And when we were in that yarn shop, we saw like Let Loopy yarn. It's like an Icelandic yarn. And he was like, I want this one. And it's like, it's so rustic. It's like probably one of the scratchiest yarns that you could probably get. Like if you're sensitive, I would honestly just say like cut your losses, do not buy this yarn. So obviously I had seen online like the pig in and the Aran tweed, like, oh, like they're gonna be like quite woolly wools. No. So we saw this colorway and he knew that he wanted navy, and we were looking at different yarn weights and different like different brands and bases and stuff, and he was looking for like a specific navy, and this just so happened to be the one. So I actually ordered this from Wool Warehouse to my house when I was still in Denmark, because obviously we had seen it while we were there. So I had to buy 20 balls of the Let Loopy. This may be overkill, but I haven't knitted a men's jumper since the last time that I knit him a jumper, and I'm pretty sure that was in acrylic, and I literally can't remember how much I used of it, and I think it was on bigger needles as well. I'm pretty sure I held it double to make the process go a bit quicker. But on Ravelry, if you go on a yarn and you go on the recommended projects, you can like sift through and it will tell you like on average how many balls of yarn we use to make each project. So I filtered it to the men's, and I can't remember exactly what it said. The problem is a lot of the recommended patterns for this and a lot of the projects are colour work on Ravelry. This ain't going to be colour work for me, so I went with 20 balls because this is 100 grams. No, not 100 grams. This is 50 grams, 100 meters. So yeah, this is the colour. I will say it is a really lovely navy. This is colour 9419. So yeah, this is Icelandic wool, which I haven't worked with before, but I have actually started knitting this, so I guess I can just show you it now. Obviously this is a plan, but it's just not a plan for me. This is going to be a gift. So we are doing a all over 2x2 rib raglan with 1x1 cuffs, collars, sleeves, etc. So this is literally how far I've got. You would not believe how long I've already spent knitting on this, to be honest. So obviously I've just done like the German short rows. Again, this is following no pattern but my own. So just took some measurements from him, and then basically measured the neckline of a jumper that he loves, did a knit a swatch, did the maths to figure out how many stitches I need for the neckline, and we're just going from here. We are just hoping for the best at this point, but no, I think it actually looks really nice. So I guess I can hold this up a bit closer. I feel like this front bit is a little bit wobbly just where the German short rows are, but I'm sure that's nothing that a little bit of blocking can't fix. This is for sure going to need blocking anyway, obviously because it is in 2x2 rib all over. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I really didn't want to do this, but I'm knitting this in 4mm needles. So the recommended needle size for this yarn is between a 4 and a 5. So I started with a 5 and it was wholly, went to a 4.5 and it was wholly, and went down to a 4. And I'm not gonna lie, right, if I hold this up, it doesn't actually look too bad because the light is in front of me. You can kind of see she is a smidge wholly. Okay, yeah, hang on. Yeah, she is a little bit, but nowhere near as bad. And when I washed and blocked my swatches for once, and it actually looks okay. And obviously because like this is just going to be on his body, it's not actually going to be like held up against some random light source, so I think it will be fine. And yeah, this yarn definitely really held its shape after blocking. Like obviously when you sort of stretch the rib flat, it did look nice. But yeah, this is not honestly the funnest thing that I've ever knit with. I will say I can only knit on this for so long at a time before it starts to really hurt. Like I knit English style, so I tension my yarn on this finger and it does start to get a little bit sore after a while because this yarn is so dry. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It is not for the faint-hearted. I feel like this will be a nice jumper when it's done. It is a smidge scratchy, but I basically had him in the yarn shop like rubbing this ball of yarn on the back of his neck, like tell me if it itches, and he was like no, it's fine. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be one that like gets better and better with age, with wear, with blocking. So yeah, this is where we're at so far. So I'm not going to take all these next ones out of the bag. I ordered this from Knit Knit with Two T's, which is a UK based shop. I order from them online. They sell all these yarns as well, I'm pretty sure, so if you're in the UK, this is where you can get it. I was on a bit of a kick. I was like, I've got Saniskan, I've got Isaya, I've got the Fila Kalana. The only, like, I would say that they're like the biggies, right? Like if you're into knit and you like knitwear and yarn and stuff, like they're probably like the big boys of like the yarn companies. I was like, the only thing now that I haven't got, that I haven't tried, is Knitting for Olive. It was also the only yarn that we had not seen while we were away. And obviously at this point I had spent quite a bit, but like the yarn for my boyfriend came out of, like, in my brain of like different pots of money, that was out of his like Christmas money budget, and then this was obviously, the yarn was like my Denmark yarn budget. Like I said, I had been saving for a couple of months, plus I got paid like while we were on holiday, which honestly was like dangerous, but I was on a kick, so I was like, I want Knitting for Olive so bad. I've been looking at it for so long, the heavy merino specifically, because all of that other yarn bases, like I think they're all 3mm, and I cannot bring myself to do that for a jumper. I don't really wear knitted tops. I haven't got any. Maybe I will in the future, but like we're coming into September now. There's no point in me buying like the cotton merino or anything. And I didn't really want to buy, I didn't buy any mohair because I love mohair, don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful, but it's not always like the funnest thing to wear. And I have discovered about myself that I am like, I like to dress very comfortably, if I'm being honest. The comfier the better, than like softer the yarn, or like even this isn't soft, right? It's just very like, I don't know how to describe it, like nothing. Like it's not really soft, but it's not scratchy and it's not itchy. It's just like on you. It's like almost feels like when you have like a sweatshirt, right, and it's made of like a jersey, like a soft jersey, and then after you've had it for ages and you've washed it loads, and it kind of goes like not hard, but like isn't soft anymore. It's just like on you, like a towel. I don't know, but you know, it doesn't bother me. So anyway, we'll get back to this. So I ordered some Knitting for Olive heavy merino. So this is in the shade Wheat, and I think I want to say I ordered 12 of these. So obviously I said I was potentially looking at the Saniskan in the yellow, the 2122 or 2112, I can't remember. And then I saw this and I really liked the look of that. I think it's Dusty Banana, and basically they didn't have it in that colorway from where I ordered it from. And oh, that was another thing actually. I went on to Knit to look at just like what they had, and then it was like, oh, it's been 5 years or something of Knit, it's like our anniversary, so we're doing 15% off of all Knitting for Olive yarns, like, and it was the last day that it was on. I was like, oh, okay, like we've got to buy something then, surely. So this is like, I would say this is a yellow cream. It's either a really pale yellow or a really yellowy cream. It's somewhere like in between the two. I feel like it looks okay on my skin tone, but obviously I had bought the bright red, and then the darker colours like the greys and the browns and that. And what I've been wanting to make for a while is like an all over texture like jumper, but not with like cables or anything. So something along the lines of, I can't remember what number it is, but there's some by My Favourite Things knitwear. I'll try and put them up on the screen. I don't want to make those specifically, but something along that line, like with the like just the rows like of different stitches, and just basically, yeah, making my own sort of pattern with that. But I wanted a really light, like neutral color to do it so that it really stood out. And I feel like this is going to work quite well, because I don't know how to describe it, but again, this feels like it's quite a nice thickness yarn, and I feel like this is similar to like this one in the sense that it's kind of feels like dry. I don't know, I feel like it's gonna have good stitch definition, and like looking at the different projects on Ravelry, I just feel like this is going to be a really nice neutral I want this to be quite like drapey. I want it to be something that can be dressed up or dressed down, and yeah, just all over sort of different rows of texture, which I think is going to be really fun because I really enjoyed making my cables cardie, and I do have to make a jumper of that, but sometimes cables can be a lot. Like, you have to have your cable needle, you have to like take things off and blah blah blah, whereas like with just knit and purl stitches, I feel like it's a bit more like you get more into like a rhythm with it. It's easier, you have less actual like stuff that you need to do it. Like, I know obviously with cables you can knit cables without a cable needle, but like for me, some of them were like, I think like eight thick or something, like 8 stitch cables, so I was terrified I was going to drop stitches. But yeah, I'm really excited with this. Like, I feel like I have now got like one of each of like the biggies, and yeah, I can't wait to actually wear these yarns more than anything. Like, I'm really excited for the process and for the product. So yeah, not too much more to say about this, but this is just what she looks like. Also, I love some of the other colours from them. I can't remember which one it is. I know everyone likes the, what is it? It's like the something artichoke one, but I actually prefer one of their other colours. There was another one, I think maybe it was like fennel seed or something. So maybe if I love this in the future, we'll get that. I also feel like because my yarn ban is for the end of the year pretty much, right? Obviously it's Christmas and then my birthday is the 4th of January. So I'm going to be tactical and ask for specific yarns. So although my basically I'm hoping to get through a chunk of this for then, and then not even have to buy myself more because I'll just ask like people for it if they ask me what gifts I want. I'm not even joking, I got so thirsty for a second there. So this is now onto the last yarn. So this is another one that I did order. I guess I should show you, right, let me show you the jumper first. I can only show you because it's on my desk. I've literally just taken this off of the blocking mats. I knit this jumper while we were in Denmark. Okay, this is the Drops Air. She's currently got a blocking needle in it because I dropped a stitch and I only realised it was blocking. But yeah, I was knitting this while we were away. This is, like I said, the Drops Air. It is on sale currently, but it probably won't be when this video goes up. This is the first time I've used it. It's like a blown yarn. It's got like alpaca and stuff in it, and it's so soft. Like, it is really nice and soft. So I was enjoying knitting this so much that I was like, oh, I really want more. But like, obviously we're in Denmark. This was while I was still like in the progress of like shopping for yarn. So I was like, oh, maybe I will like just ask for some for Christmas, whatever. And basically when I say I was saving for like this trip for like the yarn side of things, I had literally put money into a separate bank account. So like, I'd opened a Monzo because obviously you don't get charged for using your card abroad with Monzo, and so I had put specific money aside in that account to like, basically this was my Denmark yarn. And then somehow at this point I had nearly spent all of it, but there was like a little bit left. I will say as well, I think some of the yarn at some point was a little bit discounted. I can't remember exactly what it was, but some of the yarn I had bought wasn't expensive as I thought it was going to be. Either it was discounted or it was just cheaper than what it is to buy here. So I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna order some more of the Drops Air, and then we are actually gonna call it a day, and then that's actually gonna be it for the year. So yeah, this is what it looks like knit up. And I like to wear like colourful things, but I do also love a good neutral. And I feel like for me, because a lot of my non-knitwear clothes are quite colourful, I feel like you do need neutrals to wear them with, right? So obviously I'd bought, at this point we'd gone through the neutrals pretty much. We've got like the Knit for Olive, the Sun, like everything. So I decided with the Drops Air we were going to get some more fun colours. So I ordered 2 colours. Okay, so this is the colourway 37 and this one is 43. I know they have names on the website, I can't remember what they are, but I think I ordered, so I ordered 9 of the pink for the pink jumper and only used 7, but obviously at the time I ordered this I hadn't finished it, so I didn't know how much I was going to have left over. So in total I've ordered 9 of these. I think I ordered 6 of the blue and 3 of the green. So my idea is basically I want to do like a predominantly blue jumper with the green stripes running through it. I feel like I've seen this colour combination, not exactly in this yarn, but like the blue and green like pop up in various forms on my Pinterest, on Instagram, and yeah, I just really love it, to be honest. So yeah, I bought these. Again, these are really soft. I can actually tell you the full percentages, to be fair. It's 65% alpaca, 28% polyamide and 7% wool. So I knit that jumper on 5mm as well, so I didn't mind getting this because all of the other yarn I bought was pretty much 4mm, so I thought I'm gonna treat myself, go for like a slightly bigger needle. It's just like, I think things in this sort of size, like they actually break up like my other projects and they're quite like just refreshing. So yeah, this is gonna be a striped jumper. I'm thinking maybe a raglan just to make it like an extra easy, really just like refreshing knit. So I'm basically saving this one for when all of my other more complicated whips have exhausted me. So I'm just looking at the timer and I have been filming it for an hour. Maybe the video is a little bit short once I've edited it, but obviously I said I would show some other bits, but I think we're literally gonna fly through these because otherwise this video is gonna be so long. So I'm just gonna show you this one because it's my current whip. This I got months ago in one of the previous drop sales. This is Drops Alpaca in, I think it's dark pink, but it's color 3770, and I'm holding this double as per because it's quite like thin on its own. But basically, so this is starting off, the top of it is going to be a raglan, and then basically it's going to have like a normal top, like normal sleeves, like it's going to kind of like come into the cuffs. Obviously this is quite wide sleeve, so it's going to like actually come in. And then basically what I want to do for this is like basically connect under the arms and then have like huge, like basically separate the front and back from the sides and have like ties, like bows at either side. So obviously this is what I'm currently working on, so hopefully we'll be able to get some more work on this soon. Again, I'll try and put some photos up of what I mean, like roughly, although these photos I found on Pinterest are not really exactly what I'm going for, but you can get the vibe. So yeah, this is predominantly going to be a stockinette piece because obviously the actual silhouette of the garment is going to be really where the fun comes in. And yeah, I'm really loving this color. I feel like it's really nice, like autumnal sort of color. And this neck I feel like looks quite high, but I am hoping that it's gonna sit like kind of more like a mock neck. So yeah, this is what I'm currently working on. This is a plan. I'm so excited to see how this is gonna work out. But yeah, this next one I think I spoke about in a vlog. I made a jumper last year for Hobby for a pattern for them, and basically did not like the yarn choice that I picked out, and I emailed them about buying more yarn. They said that they would send it to me for free, so this yarn was gifted, I will say. This is the Friends wool. This is color, I think it's 2, yeah, color 02, and then this one's color 20. So I'll put a photo of the jumper that I made last year on the screen. This is going to be to remake that, but that is a plan for this winter because I do need to work on writing up the pattern. So at some point, if you're interested, there will be testing for this, not anytime soon, but hopefully in the next couple of months. So yeah, that will be that. I also bought, when I bought the pink Drops Air, so again, this is a little while ago now, this Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk in this color 27. So I want to make like a kind of like really easy lacework cardigan. Like the motif that I've seen, it's not all over lace, it's sort of like patches with like ruffle front, ties, set-in sleeves, beautiful. That's what this looks like. I also was sent some other yarn from Hobby to do something for them. So I would like to make something with that yarn, but honestly there's so many different colors of it, I'm not gonna get everything out. If you watched my August podcast, it was all the colors that I showed at the end of that video. And yeah, like I said earlier, I do have some dark grey drops flora. There are some other various yarns and bits and bobs that I have got. This is why I'm on a yarn ban, because I basically, when I came back from Denmark, I was like, I need to document my yarn because I lose track of what I've got. And it basically made me realise that I actually have a silly amount of yarn. Like, not as much as some people, don't get me wrong, but for myself, for how small my room is and the lack of storage that I have, it is a lot, and it is definitely going to last me for the next 4 months till the end of the year. So yeah, obviously this isn't exactly everything that's in my stash, so if you decide to follow along the next couple of months, there may be bits of yarn popping up that are not in this video specifically. Because another thing, obviously some of these yarns I have really specific projects in mind for, some of them I'm still iffy, and because I have spent a lot of money on them, or a lot of money by my standards for what I normally spend on yarn, like I'm normally like a drops kind of like budget girly, I just don't want to make any old thing. Like, this is maybe a hot take, but like, oh, it actually, like, when I watch people on like KnitTube and like Instagram, and like, is that even what's called KnitTube? I don't know, but like knitting YouTube, like on like Knit Talk, Instagram, like all that kind of stuff, and they have these like super nice, expensive, like out of my budget yarns that they are able to use so frequently, and like I'm so happy for them. And then they'll just like make things and be like, I don't really like this, but I just wanted to use the yarn. Like, actually crushes my soul so bad. Like, maybe yeah, maybe that's a bit of a hot take, and like that is not aimed at anyone in particular, but just generally, like, I want to be really mindful with the things I'm making, and I want to wear them, because so many of my old crochet pieces have never seen the light of day outside of my bedroom. So yeah, I really want to make like really beautiful long-term pieces that I'm gonna wear for a long period of time, and I'm gonna love, I'm gonna be proud of. And so yeah, if other ideas come up in my head for stash stuff, we would just go with that first, because I don't want to waste this like lovely selection of yarn that I've now got. But it now says I've been filming for 1 hour and 3 minutes, so if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I feel like I've been speaking like at 1,000,000 miles per hour. I have made an absolute mess of all of this yarn, but yeah, like I said, this is not a normal amount of yarn. I would never buy this much yarn normally, but when in Denmark, I feel like I was planning for this for so long. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to see more of me, obviously just subscribe. I normally make like making vlogs of like 2 weeks, so you see more in-depth process of like the pieces that I'm making, and like how I make decisions and sizes and stuff. And I'm on Instagram with the same name, Fashion by Beth, and TikTok. So yeah, thank you, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully.